Will, thank you so much for taking the time. You're an amazing young man who's come a long way, and I don't want to steal your thunder. Before you tell us how you're doing, can you tell me, Will, what was it like? Tell the viewer what was your life like before you met us?
Since I was 14, I suffered with arthritis and fibromyalgia, whatever the doctors could throw at it, kind of blanket case issues. I couldn't do stuff I loved. I couldn't play soccer. I couldn't hike. I couldn't go to the gym. I just it wasn't something I could do. I was in too much pain to move really.
Yeah.
Um, as I got older, the arthritis became so bad that we started looking all over the country for doctors to try to see if they can help. And eventually, I ended up at Mayo in Jacksonville. And the doctors there told me that I was suffering from central hypersensitivity, um, and that I was experiencing a very severe case of nerve damage. For about a year, basically, I spent my entire time just basically locked away inside, not doing much. And I didn't go out, I didn't hike, I didn't do stuff I loved. I couldn't work where I wanted to work because I couldn't move. Just it wasn't what I wanted out of life.
Yeah,
You know,
doesn't sound like it.
um,
And you said you had this since you were 14. How
mhm.
old are you now?
I'm 23.
You've been to this doctor, that doctor, the local doctors. You even traveled out to the Mayo Clinic. You got a diagnosis. What sort of suggestions or treatment options did they have for you?
Well, to be honest, a lot of them didn't have much hope. They didn't have any options. They didn't have any guidance, really. A lot of them just said, tough luck, it's something you got to learn to live with. And that was about it. A few of them put me on all sorts of painkillers, and they're like, yep, you'll just be on these for the rest of your life. You won't be able to stop taking these. So they didn't really help me all that much.
How did you end up finding us? Let's start there.
So my mother was out in Minnesota at the Mayo Clinic out there in Rochester with my brother. Completely different case, but while she was there, I think she was looking into a bunch of different options for me because I couldn't get out to Rochester.
Yeah.
Um, and not too far from where we are now in Charlottesville, she found you guys here, chronic care.
Yeah. So she was just online doing some research.
Just quick click here and there, looking for anything she could find, anything to do with neuropathy.
Yeah. And so let's just fast forward a little bit. So obviously you decided I'm just going to go for this. I'm going to throw everything in. I'm going to throw everything at it. I'm throw myself all in. What were the treatments like for you? Did you find them challenging? And if so, what was the most challenging? What was the hardest thing for you? What did you discover going through our treatments?
So I I thought the diet would be the hardest part. And I mean, everywhere I heard anything about the diet, I heard from people that had similar diets or people that that went straight keto. That it was really 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 hard. And I think the only thing I really struggled with was like a sweets craving with sugar.
Yeah.
And luckily, I'm very stubborn, so I can kind of just push it aside.
Okay.
Um, but the one thing that I couldn't follow through was the cheese and dairy and milk. Um,
Yeah.
but it didn't affect me too much.
Yeah, perfect.
Um, the rebuilder, uh, the oh, what's it called? The laser.
Infrared
Um,
lights.
yes, that
Yeah.
they worked wonderfully. I didn't have any problems with them. They were comfortable is a weird way to put it, but it
Mhm.
didn't bother me in the slightest.
Good.
Um, the supplements were a little odd to get used to, but
Yeah.
after a while, I couldn't. It wasn't something that bothered me. It was just another part of my routine, and it became habit. And I was like, all right, well, I got to get up, make food.
Yep.
take my supplements, go out and work.
Yep.
And it wasn't a problem. Didn't have any drawbacks. It was just sort of something I was a part of my routine enough to where I looked forward to it every day.
Okay. Good.
I think the inserts were rough. That was probably the
Yeah.
hardest.
I did read that. Did you finally get used to those, or you hating them?
Yeah, it took me a little bit,
Okay.
but like a month, I would say probably about a month before I really started feeling nothing.
Yeah.
Like no discomfort or anything.
That's acceptable. Some people take a little longer. So let's fast forward. We have a pretty clear picture of, at least in my mind, how miserable life for a 23-year-old was. I remember you telling me you just missed out on stuff. You got a couple brothers, right? You want to play baseball with them or football, and you just kind of acclimated and changed your life to be just the spectator, and just you show up, but you weren't really throwing the ball around or tackling or anything like that.
Yeah,
That's just Will. It's just what I do. And so you were there to, support your brothers, I think, while they were in a baseball game or whatever, football or whatever, but you just were unable to participate.
yeah.
And so what's life like now? Let's first start up. How are you feeling these days?
So since the treatments and since the supplements, the diet, and everything, I've I've had new energy. I've never felt like the desire to get out and wander around. I've never had the urge to get up and go do something. Like since I was 14, my habit would wake up, get food, sit down, watch TV, and just sort of waste away. I didn't really do anything.
Yeah.
And now I go running for fun. I haven't done that in my entire life.
Wow. What percent better would you say you feel, just overall with your feet, your neuropathy and fibromyalgia and all that stuff?
Well, so before it was unbearable. I really couldn't do anything. Walking more than 15, 20 minutes, and it was enough for me to sideline myself. I couldn't, theme parks were a nightmare, to say the least. But since then, compared to that, I would say it's probably like a 90% change, like a 90% increase in my activity and willing to do stuff. My mood is increased.
Yeah.
My energy is way above anything that I thought I'd ever be at. I was willing to settle with at least like a 20 or 30% improvement, and
That would have been amazing. Yeah.
It blew everything out of the water.
Man, what does that mean to you? This ability, this newfound energy, and the pain is just dropping away. And I'm here to tell you, you're going to get better. I think you're going to get 110% better. And so, I mean, what does all that mean to you?
Honestly, it's everything that I've always wanted in like a cheesy kind of way. I've always been a background character in
Yeah.
my family's events. I grew up on the sideline of soccer fields since I was a child, and just being able to go and do stuff with my brothers and sisters and not feel like a burden is probably the happiest I've been in years. So
Man.
it means the world to me to be able to just get up and go and not have to plan or to think about, oh, how am I going to feel 15 minutes, 30 minutes, an hour from now? I can just go and experience it.
Man, I feel just warm and fuzzy on the inside that I was chosen, or your mom reached out. I was chosen. You accepted our plan. You went in, all in. Okay, some cheese, slap you on the wrist, but hey, 90% better. I mean, I feel all warm and fuzzy from, I don't know, a son of God to a son of God, if I could say that. I mean, I just feel like, wow, I'm very honored, and I'm happy to have played a part in that. And man, this is real payment. You paid money for this program, and you paid in energy and time, and of course our staff met you there as well. But The
Mhm.
bigger payment for me that runs a chill down my spine and down my arms and everything is I really feel like I saved a life or
Yeah.
helped to save a life, because you did all the work. We were just kind of walking alongside of you, kind of guiding
Yeah.
you
But
along, but you did all the work, and we're just tickled over here. We're super excited for you. I think, Will, you got some time to make up. It's these high school years and even before that. And I just want to hear great stories of you. I don't know, whatever your heart desires, whether it's traveling the world or getting on a adult soccer team and just having a blast, man. I think that's what God put us here for, is to experience and enjoy all these beautiful things here that we can enjoy. And now maybe this opens up possibility for going deeper on your relationships with friends, significant others, family members, and just kind of going back and recapturing what was intended for you.
yeah, yeah,
Um,
I look forward to being able to recapture all the wants and dreams of what I once had.
do it, man. So we're going to wrap up. Again, Will, I really appreciate it. A last thing that I could think of is I'm a big goal setter. Blaze, your case manager, is a big goal setter as well. And if you haven't done so already, I would recommend getting out a journal or a big sheet of paper or something and just start journaling and just start writing things down. Like, what do you want, man? The world is
Mhm.
your oyster right now. You want to make up and play soccer for an adult team or softball, or I'd start writing that stuff down and start knocking them off the list. And maybe you hate it. It wasn't as fun as you thought it was, but now you can experience it and you can
I
know I
got to do it.
love it, I hate it. What's that?
I said I'd be able to do it, so I'd know.
Just the ability to do it. I can do that, or I would just decide not to. Just the freedom of that is it's awesome, man. Awesome. All right, well, I really appreciate your time. Looks like you got houses to build and soccer balls to kick, and probably got a workout coming in. And I'm real proud of you, man. I hope it's okay that I say that. I'm very proud of you. You really put the effort in, and you got more work to do. You can't let go of this. Just keep crushing it, and let's just suck all the juice out of life that life has to offer, man.
I appreciate it, Doc. Thank you.
All right. All right. We'll see you in a month. You take good care, and we'll talk soon.
Talk soon. See you, Doc.